Welcome to Fort Ridgley. My name's Corey Becker. I'm the Assistant Site Manager here at the fort, and come along inside with me where we can learn a little bit about the U.S.-Dakota War of 1862. So the fort was commissioned in 1853 by the U.S. Army. It was put here to be a western post for the Army to keep peace on the prairie with the farmers. And as you'll see in our diorama, it was a very open fort. The Army wasn't expecting any problems. There were no walls built around the fort. It was a very primitive place, very open, just a place to keep peace and to trade with the Indians. So Fort Ridgley was attacked in August of 1862 by the Dakota. It was a 6-week conflict that happened. The Dakota weren't receiving their payments as promised in the Treaty of Traverse des Sioux. So the fort was just one of the places attacked. There was also battles that happened at New Ulm, Birch Coulee, and it just kind of started here. Fort Ridgley was attacked 2 days. The newest exhibit we have here at Fort Ridgley in our museum, they were done by a student at the University of Minnesota, and they showcase what life would have been like at the fort. So it talks about a soldier's daily life, women at the fort. There were even slaves here at Fort Ridgley, and then kind of how the fort served as a fort, and then how the fort came to close. And 1867, the Army decommissioned the fort and they pulled out and left the fort sit empty. And here we have, this is another model we have, kind of like the diorama. This showcases Sergeant Jones's 6-pound mountain howitzer cannon. Our original 1862 cannon is with the New Ulm battery, and they fire that a couple times a year, and they'll be here August 31st. Firing it for the end of our season. All right, so over here in this display case, we have some of the muskets and weapons that the soldiers would have used, but also cannons were a significant part at Fort Ridgley. So the fort was a training post for cannons artillery with Sergeant Jones. So men would be sent here from the East Coast. You'd learn how to shoot the cannons. And we had a training post about a mile away from the fort here, and then we'd be sent down south to fight in the Civil War. So this cannon's an 1863 6-pound mountain howitzer, about what Sergeant Jones would have fired at the fort here.